the race for the robotaxi.
Tesla and Uber's robo-taxi ambitions, but remember, it's likely Alphabet's Waymo that's leading the driverless race at this point. Deirdre Bosa brings us more on that angle in today's Tech Check. And speaking of the competition that Connor was alluding to, Deirdre.
Yes, I really enjoyed that last conversation. My takeaway is that CEO Dara Khosrowshahi has done really an incredible job of putting Uber adjacent to robotaxis, but that is just it. It's adjacent. Uber does not have the tech itself. It's just a network that could still be disrupted. So the real winner from last night is Alphabet-owned Waymo. While Tesla hopes to start production on our Cybercab before 2027, Waymo already has a fleet of more than 700 driverless vehicles, no safety driver, delivering and charging for thousands of rides per week, and it's expanding rapidly. Now, the two key ingredients.
So this is very important, and me as a Tesla shareholder, and by the way, I just started buying Google stock, but it's like literally nothing, especially compared to my Tesla position. It's like a few $100 so far, right? Compared to hundreds of thousands of dollars I have invested in Tesla. I have to be honest with you guys. This is what I've been saying. Like, Waymo's ahead. Waymo's ahead. There's no debating that. There's no could Tesla leapfrog them in the future? That's possible. But the moral of the story is Waymo's ahead in this. They have cars today in several different markets that you can get into with no driver inside. It'll take you wherever you need to go. Tesla does not have that. And so to tell Tesla has that, Waymo's ahead in this. And so given what we heard yesterday about 2025 potentially Tesla having it in Texas and in Texas, in California, in regards to Model 3s and Model Ys driving folks around, that's good news. If that holds up, right, we'll see what happens there. But we're still behind, right? By next year, Waymo is going to likely be in a lot more markets and partnering with Uber as well in many of these other various major cities. So Tesla's behind. We got to catch up, and we got to catch up fast. And so then when Elon Musk is talking about that RoboCab is not going to go into production until maybe he's talking about hopefully before 2027, we don't want Waymo to get too big of a lead here. Because if everybody gets used to getting in Ubers through Waymo, right, or getting into Waymos, I should say, through Uber, and they get used to that in all these big cities over the next couple of years before Tesla really launches, then when Tesla goes to do it, it's not going to be very special at that point in time, right? It's already going to be like, we already been doing this. And then they already have become the brand name there. So the moral of the story is Tesla has to move at rapid pace. And I do believe there's a lot of folks that just don't feel like Tesla's quite moving fast enough in regards to this, right? Which is why you're seeing the stock sell off heavily today. So, yeah.
That Waymo has relied on: trust and technology. Waymo's technology more proven and more expensive, potentially making it harder to scale. Tesla is promising an unproven combination of tech that, if it does work, has potentially higher rewards in terms of cost per mile and scalability. Now, sure. Trust is going to be just as important. As part of our Tech Check Weekly deep dive, we polled some people in New York where robotaxis are not yet available.
I wouldn't trust it.
I just kind of believe that the car should be driven by a person.
I can imagine, especially driving in Manhattan, how a driverless car can navigate people crossing, right, bicycles going the wrong way, e-bikes everywhere. Right. I'm amazed how that can happen.
I can't imagine. These are all people who haven't yet tried it. But here's what we found in San Francisco, where Waymo robotaxis, they're
I spent a week in New York City this summer, right? I gotta say, I don't think it was a hard market to drive in. That's just my personal opinion.
And they're available to the public.
Definitely a magical experience.
I actually felt much safer getting in the Waymo than I do in just like most cars.
I heard about this when I was a kid, but it's here now. It's kind of crazy.
The key difference, Kelly, those that have ridden in a Waymo robotaxi, they're largely converts. I keep hearing that word magical come up among people who've tried it. Those that haven't, like most people in New York, they're very skeptical. Check out that Tech Check Weekly for more on the robotaxi race, how it's heating up, and where Tesla might fit in. Now, if there are several robotaxis...
I bet you that was the same If we went back 100, 200 years ago, right, or it wouldn't be 200 years ago, 100 something years ago, right, I bet you there was a lot of people like, I'm not going to have that machine drive me around. I feel comfortable with my horses. My horses are going to get me there, my horse and carriage. I don't want that machine. That machine might malfunction and go crazy, right? So, yeah, I'm sure if we went back to way back in the day when it was the conversion from horses to autos, I bet you there was a lot of people saying these same exact things.
That are able to do this a few years from now, Uber could serve as the platform for all of them. If there's only a couple of them, they could go directly to riders like Waymo is doing right now in San Francisco. And something that your previous guest, Connor, just said, he said competition from robo-taxis is coming. If you're in San Francisco, it is very much already here and likely eating into the market shares of Uber and Lyft.
Double man on the street. A round of applause. I love that. The contrast between San Francisco and New York. Yes. So
in regards to Waymo and Tesla, those vehicles, generally speaking, from what I've seen from what Waymo has and from experience in Teslas, generally they're going to err on the side of caution substantially. Like if you need to get somewhere as fast as possible, probably don't take those. If you want to get somewhere as safe as possible, from what I've seen, they're actually pretty respectable when it comes to that and probably actually much safer than a lot of drivers.
Question on that, Deirdre. Is there any word on when this could be coming to New York? I was driving there home from Fast Money yesterday. It's incredibly nerve-wracking when there's people biking within 2 inches of your car at all times.
Yes, and I think you heard that in some of the man on the street reaction is how in the world are these robo-taxis going to account for bicycles, for pedestrians that jaywalk? And all I have to say is try one here in San Francisco. You will see that it operates very similar to a human driver, in some cases safer. As to when it's going to roll out more broadly, I don't know. They're expanding quickly in the Sun Belt. These vehicles still have challenges when it comes to snow and heavy rain, but I did get a view of the latest Waymo vehicle that's being developed right now with Geely's Zeekr cars. And it's so interesting, Kelly, these LiDARs on it, they have little windshield wipers and they have heaters. So they are already trying to solve this problem. It's interesting that it's like physical. You need windshield wipers, you need heaters to do that. But I mean, that's how they started. That's how they've racked up 22, I believe, million driverless miles. Wow. It happened slowly and then all at once, which is, I think this year will go in the history books.
We got to go. But you just dropped a little bomb there. They're partnering with a Chinese car maker. Wait, we'll have to revisit this maybe tomorrow. No, Monday.
Yeah, sure thing.
Interesting angle there. Deirdre Bosa.
Yeah, so the other important thing to remember is although Waymo's winning the battle right now, right, in terms of they actually have these vehicles in many markets that you can go drive in, and they're going to have it in a lot more markets over this next year or two before Tesla even really gets to their big launch. The important thing to remember is it doesn't mean that Tesla's going to necessarily lose long term. So if we're thinking about 10 years from now, it's possible that we look back at Waymo's technology and laugh at it. Maybe we don't, but there's a potential of that, right? If Tesla ends up actually pulling off what they might pull off here, they're going to get such a cost advantage that it could make Waymo obsolete over time. And that just doesn't make sense because those vehicles are so expensive compared to what it is to, let's say, produce a robocar or whatever we want to call it from a Tesla side, a cybercar. So I think that's important for everybody to consider. You know, if you're thinking short term, no doubt Waymo's winning here. If you're thinking long term, there's still a potential. The jury's still out on if Tesla's actually going to win this market long term. Because if they pulled off, like, they're going to win, and they're going to win not just by a small amount, it's going to be by a large amount. Hey, I want to thank you so much for watching that clip. I hope you really enjoyed it. What I'm showing you in front of your face right now is 1000xstocks.com. This is such an important website and service to use if you want to research companies, if you want to understand companies on a high level, so you can hopefully get better results in the market. And we know as the years tick on, money compounds. It is so important you research companies, you compare companies, you're listening to conference calls, looking at SEC filings, all that's included into 1000xstocks.com. So to enjoy 1000xstocks.com and to apply for that service, you can go to the description area of this video, or you can go to 1000xstocks.com, whichever you prefer. So, huge day, obviously, in Tesla's history for this event to have transpired. Right, and there's going to be a lot of mixed feelings coming out of this event. There's going to be some people very excited. There's going to be some people very disappointed, which is to be expected. It does not surprise me at all that would be the reaction here. So first off, they showed off the robotaxi vehicle, okay, what I'm showing you in front of you right now, right? And Elon really pitched this product, which it looks like a 2-seat vehicle, which is what I called it to be for a long, long time. People used to laugh at me years ago. I said, you watch, when they do the robotaxi, it's going to be a 2-seater vehicle, and people never thought I was being realistic about that, and now it's all, they're getting to see it, right? So in regards to this robotaxi vehicle, it looks very impressive. The doors are epic, right? The doors open up like that, and Elon Musk really pitched this product as being a mass market, very affordable way of transportation, right? Because we have got to be honest, the cost of vehicles has gone up immensely over the last number of years. Car insurance has gone through the roof. And, if you want any sort of decent car, right, let's say you buy just, I don't know, whatever car, right, for $30,000, $40,000, right, and you get an auto loan on that. After that, your insurance, your tags, everything like that, your monthly cost nowadays, way over $500 a month. For a lot of folks, these car insurance, just between car insurance and your loan, plus tags, you're looking at a lot of times for these vehicles now $700, $1,000. If you go up in price points, now you're talking about $1,500, $2,000. It's gotten to the point where for a lot of folks, they're kind of priced out of the market. So it seems like this is a vehicle that is going to be perfect given the sort of time frame we're going into. And that was a point that Elon Musk was really touching on here. Now, in regards to Elon Musk, I got to say, he looked the best I've seen Elon Musk look in a long time. I don't know if they did some Botox on that man or what the heck they did, but he would definitely look the best I've seen Elon Musk look in a long, long while. Now, there was a major announcement he made very early on, and that major announcement was that the Model 3 and Model Y is set to be full self-driving allowed with no driver inside, basically, it sounds like, in 2025. 2 major markets. So if that's true and that's accurate, it is going to be a big moment for Tesla. Now, does this change anything for Tesla financially? Absolutely not in the short term. No, okay? Even if he's accurate and the 3 and the Y are allowed to drive in Cali, in Texas, with no driver inside, right? It's not changing the numbers for Tesla in 2025. We could talk many years from now, 5 years out, 10 years out, that could be, but not in 2025, okay? So it's just important to remember there. And this is a major milestone if Tesla can pull this off. And the reason being is there are Waymos today in many markets in the United States of America that you can get in a Waymo today with no driver inside, and it can take you from point A to point B. That is not the situation with Tesla right now. We've all been waiting on this moment for us to be able to do this with the Tesla. So this is a big moment here, right? And Elon Musk points out that through Tesla's ability to learn through everybody's driving out there that drives Teslas, right? The data sharing there, the programs are allowed to learn at such a ridiculous rapid pace because they're getting to see so many situations, right? It's like, he says 1 robot, 1,000,000 lifetimes of experience, and it's true. And so that's always been the thing with Teslas. If they can put all of this data together, they can create the greatest driver in the history of mankind in a driving system so perfect that it almost never makes a mistake, which would be epic, right? Because it would be amazing if we could get to a time period with automobile transportation like we have with air travel, right? If you hear about any sort of air travel accident, it's a freaky thing. It's like people are shocked by it, whoa, what happened? That's crazy. That's a point we got to get to with autonomous vehicles, right? And with vehicles in general, because as of today, there's accidents that are happening all over. Just since I probably started this video, there's probably several accidents that have happened and people got injured. Some people didn't make it. Just since I started this video, right? It's very, very sad, and we gotta make it past that, right? Additionally, he talks about the RoboCab product going into production 2026 and that being in markets as well, which would be phenomenal. Now, we had hoped RoboCab would be into production earlier than that. I got to be honest with you guys. We really hoped that would get into production in 2025. He's talking about 2026, and he basically says before 2027. So I would even say the way Elon Musk was framing that, he sounded uncertain. I got to be honest with you guys. He did sound uncertain when he was going to talk about this. And so I think that was a little bit of a letdown, because I think a lot of people wanted to hear Elon come out really confident that this was going into production 2025, but then he said 2026, and then he's like, well, we'll see, before 2027. And it just didn't sound super confident. And so now, and keep in mind, Elon's obviously made a lot of big statements in the past that were way off in regards to their time frame. So if Elon sounds unconfident about even like potentially before 2027, a lot of people are going to say, okay, this product might not come till 2027 or 2028 or 2029, right? And so that's where the problems start to come here in regards to stock price, which we'll get to in just a moment, right? Now, the vehicle, like I said, it's epic. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think it's absolutely perfect for the needs of being a mass market vehicle around the world. Because remember, this a lot of times we just think about this as like a USA product. No, this product needs to be around the world. It needs to be produced in mass and in as affordable as possible. Now, this product also does not have a steering wheel in it. It does not also not have pedals in it. And they had it all lined up for folks to take these on a drive, okay? Now, when Elon Musk came out to the event, he had it looked like an astronaut with him or something, which was kind of cool. It looked like to be coming out of the movie theater and the car was there waiting for him. The doors are epic, the way the doors open up like that. Like that's basically Lamborghini style doors there, which is amazing to see, right? Absolutely amazing to see. You knew Tesla's going to do it cool. Even if they're going to produce a super affordable vehicle, they're still going to do it in a cool way. That's just Elon Musk. That's always been the style they go with. And so they're going to find some way to make it something that people are going to be talking about. Like, wow, like, because where else you seen doors on that other than a McLaren and Lamborghinis? Like seriously, where you ever see doors like that? Like, you just don't. And so, man, it looks dang epic. Now, whoa. Look at that. That is what some people are referring to as Cybervan, okay? I think Elon Musk called it something else, okay? But I'm calling it Cybervan for now. This was epic. This baby pulled up looking like, what is that thing? What is that thing? And basically what it is, it's a vehicle that could hold around 20 people from what he said here. And so they showed a demo, it pulls up and all these people get out of it essentially, right? Which it has screens in and everything. I think this could be an awesome, there's a lot of use cases I could see from this. And not just like, oh, I'm having a bachelor party, so let's all go in the Cybervan. Like no. I could see this being huge as like some sort of like replacement of the bus system even, right? Where it picks up everybody at a stop, everybody gets on, and it goes on its way. Or maybe it's a predetermined route, right, in a city, and there's a bunch of different stops along the way, kind of like a bus system works, but maybe a little bit more convenient than that, let's call it that. And people get on, and it's a good experience, right? And since there's going to be screens inside, I think there's ways Tesla can make a lot of advertising revenue, which I do believe is going to be a big revenue generator for Tesla long term. This is not something that matters for Tesla's numbers in the next few years. But if we're thinking 10, 20 years out, I think advertising is going to be huge, because if you've got a ridiculous amount of these robo-cars driving around, right, that are all going to have screens in them. We know they do, right? They all have screens in them. And then so people are getting in these all over the world, right? That's a huge opportunity to advertise to these sorts of folks. Never mind if they're going on their app to book these, to advertise. It's just, oh my gosh, it's so easy to advertise to these folks, right? And so you get in this Cybervan, right? And there's ads playing there. There's in-app ads. And so that's just a huge opportunity. But as far as this vehicle goes, oh yeah, it looks great. It looks absolutely great. That's epic. Now, then the event ended from there, which it was a very quick event. They were late to get it started, I guess, because there was some sort of medical emergency for somebody in the crowd. Hopefully they're all right. But the event in general was very quick. I believe the runtime on it was, I want to say it was just under 30 minutes. So a very quick event. They did not, and here's the issue, okay? They showed off a lot in that amount of time. They showed off Cybercab. They showed off Cybervan, or whatever you want to call it, right? Robovan. Additionally, they showed off the humanoid robots doing some things, walking around, and those sorts of things. But still, under 30 minutes was a very, very, very quick event. Then after that, they lined up all the cars, right? The small cars there, the robo cars, and folks were able to start getting in those and take drives around. Now, this is on a kind of a predetermined course because it was at Warner Brothers Studios, from my understanding. So, you're not going to get the best kind of real world driving on a planned course like that, in my personal opinion, and I think anybody's opinion, right? But the problem with the quick event is they didn't really go super into details, and a lot of people wanted details, very nitty gritty details. They want to know super detailed about all this stuff. They want to see the app, like what's the app experience going to look like. They want to get down to all these details, like even the cybercab, right? Or robocab, whatever you want to call it, the robotaxi. How much mileage is it going to have? What are the price points on that going to be? There was really not much in regards to all those sorts of things, because you might say, well, how many miles is that going to be able to drive? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500? Is there going to be different options, the price point? Or are you going to be able to buy that for reasons outside of just like it being a robo-car? So there was a lot of that just was not answered. It left a lot of details up in the air, and that definitely was something I know a lot of people did not want. They wanted a lot of details. This event produced a lot of cool, in my opinion. The cars are cool. The Lambo doors popping up like that, cool, epic, right? The cyber van, or whatever you want to call it, the robo van, that product's insane, right? Obviously, the robots walking around and the robots dancing around, cool, a lot of cool, but details, not a lot of details, not a lot of details. And then timeline-wise, Elon Musk threw out a few timelines there, but not super detailed, not the sort of timelines you're really looking for. And to be quite frank, Elon Musk did not sound super confident. That's very important. He did not sound super confident when speaking about those timelines, right? Sawyer posted that. Here's a first look at Tesla Cybercab. Yeah, he says it looks sick in person, and it looks good. I mean, that's exactly what I thought it would be. Is exactly what I thought it would be, but with cooler doors, though. I will say that I was not expecting like the Lambo type doors. I thought it would just be basic doors that would open. These look way more epic, and so that's a type of vehicle. It looks. I think Tesla's going to be able to produce these. For my opinion, I think $12,000 to $15,000. I truly do. I think they're going to have pretty small battery packs in them. I think they'll only probably have 180 to maybe 200 miles of range, because you don't want to weigh it down with a ton of batteries either, because you want to keep costs down on these. If you load it up with batteries, right, it's more battery to haul around, but additionally it's going to push costs up big time. So I think they're going to probably have it where, I don't know, my thought is when it actually comes out, maybe it'll have 200 miles of range, which will be fine because it's going to just be doing a lot of city driving, and you can get done a lot with 200 miles of range in a city, right? Because you also have the regenerative braking always hitting. So imagine one of these going around New York City. Do you want to talk about a market you're going to see a ridiculous amount of these? New York City. And you know how many rides it could give in that amount of time if it has 200 miles of range? Or even 250? Like, it's going to be a lot of rides. Because there's a lot of people going, 2 miles, 1 mile, 3 miles away. So it definitely looks good. People were even more impressed in person. I think it's exactly what you want. This vehicle's the showstopper, though, because it's just ridiculous. I mean, completely ridiculous. It looks sick, though. That looks like, does it not look like something from the movie, what was it, iRobot, or was it Minority Report? One of those sorts of movies. I mean, look at that thing. Just look at it. Epic, epic, epic. So, yeah. Now, let's start talking stock. Let's start talking about my plans with the stock and all those things now that we talked about the event. Okay, so the stock was going up very nicely as the event was going along, right? It was going up, and then it crashed. The event all of a sudden ended with the robots dancing around. Elon was like, that's about it. And straight down. So now keep in mind, Wall Street really hasn't even got their hands on this stock yet. They're going to be playing with it tomorrow. Okay. So do keep that in mind. But this isn't a good sign, because this is already retail likely selling this baby off heavy. Wall Street, they're not going to like this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I told you yesterday that if Elon Musk and the team and the Tesla team could show off products and services that people are confident are going to generate meaningful revenues in the next 2 years, Tesla stock could go flying. Next thing we know, we might be 300. But everything Elon Musk showed off and talked about, nothing's really going to be happening in the next 2 years as far as anything meaningful for revenue. 5 years from now, maybe we can have that conversation. 7 years from now, I think we can have that conversation. 10 years from now, I think we can have that conversation. But in terms of the next 2 years, there's nothing Elon Musk and the team showed off that's going to be anything meaningful to revenue. This is all just long-term stuff. And we know Wall Street cares about the short term. And they also want to hear details around this. And we just did not get the level of detail Wall Street's really going to be looking for here. So definitely would be seen as a letdown from kind of their perspective. My perspective, I would have loved some more detail as well. But on the flip side, I think Elon, my opinion is Elon was just trying to keep this event really cool and not trying to weigh it down with details. I think he just wants people more talking about the cyber cab, right? And what that looks like, and the robo-taxi, and the cyber van, and the robots walking around, and the robots dancing around. I think Elon just wants it. And you got to understand, Elon uses these events additionally. It's not just about keeping people excited for the future and like these new products that are going to be coming down the road and things like that. Elon also uses these events as kind of like a big subject of conversation, because now everybody's going to be talking about Tesla over the next 24 hours, right? And honestly, for the next bit of time. And as people get this, you're going to see this everywhere on social media. It's going to be everywhere in front of you on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok over the coming days, and X, and everywhere, right? It's going to be on every social platform. People are going to be talking about this all over the place, giving their opinions, what's cool, what's not cool. Oh, this doesn't look cool. Oh, I love this. Like it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everybody's going to be sharing it around with their friends and family. Like, oh, did you see this? Like, it gets everybody talking about Tesla, and this is something that only Tesla can do this. No other car company in the world can do this. Every other car company launches a product or services or whatever, and like hardly anybody even knows about it. Tesla's the only company, and Elon Musk is the only CEO smart enough, who's really got it like that in the auto industry, who can get the whole world talking about it. The whole world's going to be talking about this and debating this over the next bit of time, right? And it's genius, because it does, at the end of the day, more people are talking about Tesla. It does increase Tesla sales, right? It gets more people interested in the Model 3, the Model Y, Cybertruck, S, X, all those sorts of things, right? It gets people talking about Tesla, which Elon Musk is one of the greatest of all time in terms of keeping people focused on the company. So you've got to understand there's more at play than the short term, but Wall Street's not going to like the lack of details. Wall Street's not going to like the fact that really nothing they showed off is going to even be meaningful anytime soon, basically, right? So which means Tesla's really just counting on sales of Model 3 and Model Y to drive this business still for the next several years. And that's that, right? Cybertruck can be kind of a little additional thing, but, really this story just still comes down to the Model 3 and Model Y. And that's just that, right? Services is a huge opportunity for the company. The issue with services is the other auto manufacturers are so bad at selling EVs that if you're thinking like, where's that big revenue going to start pouring in for all these folks that are supposed to be using the superchargers? If these other folks could ever learn how to sell EVs, like it could start pouring in, but we're still waiting on that, right? We're still waiting on that. So in regards to my Tesla shares, obviously I've been selling shares going into the event. I think I sold, 400 shares over the past few weeks kind of going into this event. So I have 1,300 shares right now. I feel kind of comfortable where I'm at there. I was thinking about selling all the way down to 1,000 shares, but now that I've seen what's coming a few years from now, right? I got more clarity today on what's coming, and what's coming is exactly what I want it to be happening here. Two-seater vehicle that I think they're going to be able to produce for probably $12,000 to $15,000 of their actual cost. I like it. I like it a lot. And so I walked away from this event being more optimistic about Tesla, although I would have loved more details on the vehicles and the app and everything like that. But as far as me, I'll probably actually just hold this 1,300 shares now. And now would I buy more of the stock? I'm good with what I have. No. I could understand if somebody, if this stock dips in any meaningful way, wanting to start a position there. If they don't have a position, I could understand that. But as far as me personally, I got 300,000 in it. I feel comfortable with that amount of money, right? So that's kind of my 2 cents there.